ministerial position and slot. How Tinubu betrayed me, Elrufai cries out. Can you imagine? So I think he said he was not going to be interested in politics anymore. They called him and screened him and found him wanting and dumped him. Now he's complaining. He started by saying that he's too big to have a godfather, and he left. Now he's coming back to say how Tinubu betrayed him. How did Tinubu betray him? We understand that Tinubu called him and said, if you need to be my minister, I'm not leaving this place until you agree. When they had the party rally or party seminar sometime in Kaduna prior to the elections. Okay. Now Elrufai is coming out to tell. In fact, Tinubu made that he's calling him to join him. But all these are political gimmicks between them. They know what they're doing. Now that Elrufai has been dumped, he's coming out now to say why he was dumped and why he was betrayed. President Bola Tinubu genuinely promised Nasser El-Rufai, the recently resigned governor of Kaduna State, not merely a ministerial position, but also the portfolio of the new Federal Ministry of Energy, notwithstanding the continued lamentations of many Nigerians. After receiving the unequivocal guarantee from Tinubu, El-Rufai rallied his team and created a plan that inspired Tinubu ahead of his nomination. Specifically, the president-elect promised El-Rufai in no certain terms the new Ministry of Energy. Thereafter, El-Rufai mobilized his team and produced a blueprint that wowed Tinubu about 3 weeks before his ministerial nomination. According to the former governor media aide Ibrahim Shehu Musa in an opinion piece, a disappointed El-Rufai accused Tinubu of duplicity in the comedy of errors, which trailed his nomination and screening both at the Senate and security agencies. So he stated afterwards, the comedy of errors began first by a security chief who, in a hurry to nail El-Rufai, breached official communications protocol. First, he wrongly sent a letter to the senior special assistant to the president on National Assembly matters instead of the Senate president. Second, the letter was signed by a director of state security services and not the president. Third, the issues raised were rehashed political altercation and selective interpretations. Besides the ban on El-Rufai from holding public office, a recommendation of a House committee has been quashed by the court. The Senate, on mere allegations, refused to confirm El-Rufai as minister. On the president's alleged duplicity on the matter, the media aide said, however, when El-Rufai met with Tinubu, the usually forthright and straight-talking president, according to reports, pleaded for time to deal with the matter. Tinubu, at that point, started being evasive like the politician that Tony Wilson sang about. El-Rufai, on his part, has turned his back on the ministerial nomination, gone back to school to learn, unlearn, and relearn. To someday serve the public in another realm. So accusing politicians of reneging on their promises as their stock in trade, Ibrahim stressed in 70s, Tony Wilson sang about politicians, and in that ballad, he highlighted their antics in I Like Your Style. Politicians, according to him, are men of many words, and in other words, they say much but deliver little. At worst, they renege on their promises with reckless abandon. However, not all politicians are the same, and clearly Malam Nasser El-Rufai is of a different cut. Largely, he walks his talk, and oftentimes he shoots from the hips, firing from all cylinders, taking no prisoners as he does. In Nigeria, this exception, is a double-edged sword, and for El-Rufai, it has been cutting both ways, either as a minister or governor of Kaduna State. Indeed, the political class, entrenched interest groups, and upper crust of society see him as a defiant outlier. Can you imagine? Conversely, ordinary people, development partners, and civil society applaud his consistency, achievements, and daring do. Can you imagine? Significantly, his solid achievements, bailing the cat at critical times, and taking on difficult assignments are well documented in his public service career. Recalling Elrufai's antecedents as Minister of Federal Capital Territory under ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo. Okay, Ibrahim said, for example, remodeling the Federal Capital Territory, re-engineering governance, and the Kaduna Urban Renewal Project stand out in recent times. In fact, in the run-up to the presidential primaries, the 2023 election, and the emergence of President Bola Tinubu, his altruism came out in bold relief. Can you imagine? So that's exactly what is happening here. The Elrufai is trying to speak through his aide here on media and publicity, trying to state the reasons why, President Tinubu did not allow him, or disappointed him, or sabotaged him, or betrayed him, whichever word he wants to use. The fact remains, from what they are saying here, that Tinubu actually wanted him to be his minister until security agencies and security advisors came up with a report against him and, indicting him in so many security matters. And then from there, he was dropped. And when he was dropped, Tinubu, that used to talk straight with him face to face, chose to be evasive and change the pattern again in communicating with him. The truth remains that Elrufai is a religious bigot, is a jihadist from the eyes of all other Nigerians, and not fit to be a minister of Federal Republic. Okay? Somebody is making a comment here. I said, Malam, you betrayed yourself. Religious bigot like you have no place in Nigerian politics. That is it. Is Wike not a religious bigot that once said Rivers is a Christian state? That is Wike you're talking about. Talking about Elrufai. Elrufai passed comment on Yaradua, and Jonathan hurt him now for saying that he fought Yaradua to the grave, and he fought Jonathan until he left office in 2015. Okay, so those statements are actually also haunting him as well. This is the best thing Jagaban did. Those killed by this monster soul, and now resting in peace. God bless you, Jagaban. Can you imagine? For denying him because of people that have died in Southern Kaduna, the riot there that saw many Christians dead because of the invasion by bandits. Somebody said, who is asking Tinubu to run in 2027? Nobody. He can't even win. It's going to be difficult. Despite his shortcomings, he will do well as a power minister. Let's forget about that. One recurring feature in politics is plotting for power. Most of their scheming is based on strategic calculations of the future. Just wait and see if Tinubu miss Elrufai. Okay, he will lose 2027 election. Just see the game he think Ganduje can bring not to him. Okay, so that is what is happening. It means that not making that ministerial list is still hurting Elrufai. He can't forget it in a hurry. He's still feeling bad about it. But it is what it is. Nigerians don't want him because of his security threat to the oneness of Nigeria. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment.